Yet another suspicious device has been found at a Durban mall, this time at the Pavilion Shopping Centre. Police have cordoned off the underground parking lot, which is adjacent to the food court. The police's bomb squad and police dogs are at the scene. It's unclear what the device is. This is the second time that a device believed to be explosive has been found at the Pavilion. On Saturday, a suspicious device was found in a Woolworths store at the Gateway Mall. Former President Jacob Zuma's son, Duduzane Zuma, has been granted 100,000 rand bail at the Specialised Commercial Crimes Court in Johannesburg. He will appear again in court on the 24th of January 2019, facing charges of conspiracy to commit corruption. Zuma handed himself over to police this morning and is being charged with his involvement in trying to bribe former Deputy Finance Minister SABC Jonas at the Gupta's Saxon World family compound in Johannesburg in 2015. Zuma has admitted to attending the meeting but denies that any bribes were offered. Well, for more on this story, I'm joined in studio by our reporter, Abongile Dumako. Good afternoon, Abongile. Thanks very much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Nombu.
So, obviously, he's got bail of 100,000 rand. Presumably, that means he can't travel. They've taken his passport. What were the terms?
Basically, the main term was the fact that he needed to hand over his passport because he stand risk of fleeing the country, of which he has agreed. And also the state said they were not going to oppose the bail application. Subsequently, he was granted 100,000 rand bail, but he's again back in court on the 24th of January 2019 with a huge view on the fact that there might be more charges added upon what we've been speaking about from this morning, which would be a corruption and condemned to commit corruption surrounding the saga to bribe former Deputy Finance Minister SABC Jonas. There's also the Estina Dairy Farm in the Free State in Freire that apparently was involved with some other of his companies that he's been a director of, that there's been some corrupt activities taking place there, but we are here to hear about those lengthily come the 24th of January next year.
Okay, so outside the court there was a lot of commotion and he seemed to be quite surprised by the amount of attention he was getting.
Indeed, he was quite surprised by the amount of attention she was getting from ourselves as the media. And of course, there were some gentlemen who were dressed in the BLF t-shirt and regalia who were sort of in support of Duduzane Zuma. If I may also add, Nompu, there was a scuffle between ourselves as the media and of course those guys from the BLF. They were claiming that we are just sent to serve the white people's interest in this case. Duduzane Zuma is innocent. This is just a conspiracy to tarnish his name. Police had to intervene in that situation where there was some pushing around taking place, but eventually police managed to disperse those crowds that were like those EFF guys. And also, of course, the very same Duduzane Zuma was quite calm. You know, he had a chit chat with us as the media. Hi guys, how are you? Those type of conversations. When journalists tried to sort of dig deeper and ask about how he felt, and of course how he felt about the case, he kind of sort of hid away.
And what about his separate case where he ran over a lady who subsequently passed away?
That's coming up on Thursday at the Randburg Magistrates Court. He's facing a charge of culpable homicide following the death of two of those who were passengers in that taxi. We are yet to, in fact, we're going to see, we hope to see him because it was the same case today. If at all, we're going to see him come up, in the Commercial Crimes Court in Johannesburg. He did pitch, so we also hope that he's going to sort of pitch on Thursday in Randburg to face those culpable homicide. Of course, AfroForum is in the forefront in as far as that case is concerned. They're adamant, confident that they've got a strong case against the former president's son.
Now, last week, Friday, I noticed a tweet from him and he wrote something like, the black man is always a suspect.
I saw that one as well, but again, I also saw a tweet as well from one of the journalists here in South Africa saying that, in a nutshell, there's a question about that Twitter account. Some saying that it's not a legit one. His lawyer, Rudy Krause, didn't really want to come forth to actually tell us if by any chance he's got a Twitter account. Is it his official Twitter account? There's a bit of a debate in as far as that very Twitter account is concerned, but I did also see that tweet that he says, as a black man is always a suspect.
Indeed. And then ramifications, anything connected to his father? Is there any analysis that you can give around that? Because he's also set to be in court sometime next week. And, the likes of the Zuma camp will say that, of course, this is an attack on the Zumas.
Difficult to say, Nompu, more than just to say. From what I sensed, right, with these BLF guys, one cannot help but think that they actually are the ones that are in the forefront. You'll also understand that Andile Mutama, the president of the BLF was in Pietermaritzburg when the former President Jacob Zuma was in court some few weeks ago. Now we see them, their members appear, in court as well for the case of the son of the former president. So one sort of kind of throws a bit of an interlink between the two, which one cannot help but think that maybe they are the ones that seemingly are in the forefront in as far as supporting the Zuma clan is concerned.
And one very quick one, back to Duduzane. He obviously came to South Africa to bury his brother who passed on. Do you think he had a hunch that he wouldn't just be coming for that in the end? Again,
it's a bit of a difficult position to allude to that, but from what I understand, he arrived on Thursday at the airport. He was briefly detained at the OR Tambo International Airport, and then he was released to go attend his brother's funeral. Now he's in court on Monday already. He's willing to hand himself over, willing to sort of hand over his passport and things like those. Probably somewhere behind his, at the back of his mind, he knew that this was going to be a possibility that might see happening as we are seeing this the case unfolding today.
Indeed. Thanks very much, Abongile. That's my colleague Abongile Dumako reporting on that Duduzane case this morning.